Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This is the Grotti Turismo Classic with HSW modifications applied, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. We are back with more HSW vehicles. We still have a few to go. I don't remember how many. We have 2 today, and then I think we've got like 4 more? I don't know. By the way, Raven is locked out of his own car. I think the game bugged out when he returned his terabyte to storage. Around the same time he did that, it kicked him out of his car and he can't get back in. So, yeah, he's having a bit of a slow start. So, let's see. How many more do we have to do here? Looks like we've got, 4 more that we're doing for World Off-Road. So, there's still a couple more weeks that will come. Of course, they're going to be interspersed with garage tour videos. If you haven't checked that out, please go check out my $1 Billion Garage Tour series. Putting in a lot of work on those, both myself and the Vainglorious community, and I promise you, it is the best garage tour series you have ever watched. And I don't usually like brag about my videos, like saying they're the best or greatest or no one can compare, but they are the best garage tour videos you will ever see produced in GTA Online. Taking a whole different approach to them than anybody else has ever done. And it has turned out so well. And I've watched a lot of garage tours, so I know I know what the competition looks like. I may not be getting the views they get, but I definitely have a better series than they have. Anyway, enough about that. Oh dear, I just took out a coyote. I'm sorry, little guy. So the Turismo Classic in HSW spec, like most of the HSW spec, and any vehicle with just a lot of power is a handful to manage on the mountain. Mount Chiliad does not reward low grip, high power vehicles very well. So this has been, a constant battle of finding just that perfect spot on the throttle at any given moment where I can actually get some power to turn into forward momentum without it all just being gobbled up by a wheel spin, and which results in loss of control as well. And doing all right. I was surprised. I was surprised by, even though this was a handful and I had to fight it a lot, I was surprised that it wasn't more difficult than it turned out to be. It climbed the mountain really freaking well, especially for a sports classics, and we're up in 243. So, will it off-road? So, yeah, at 2.43, that's good. That is very, very good. So far to date, all the HSW vehicles that we have tested have done worse on Mount Chiliad than their non-HSW counterparts. And we'll take a look here in just a moment to see if that is true for the Turismo. But when you add a lot of power and don't add any extra grip, Mountain is not going to reward you for that. It is not impressed by your horsepower. So out of 473 vehicles that we have tested as of this video, the Turismo Classic HSW comes in 111th. Pardon me while I take a quick drink of water. Much better. Sorry, still getting over being quite sick last week. This comes in 0.017 seconds slower than the Vapid Dominator FX, and basically 0.2 of a second faster than the non-HSW Bravado Banshee. Anytime you hear silence, it's just assume I'm taking a drink of water. In Sports Classics, out of 35, it is 4th. It is 4.73 seconds slower than the Pegassi Toreador and 1.13 seconds faster than an Ocelot Ardent. Compared to the vehicles that came out with just the expanded and enhanced version of the original batch of HSW vehicles, this is the second one. And it is 12.65 seconds slower than a weaponized Ignis. There we go. However, when compared to the stock version of the Turismo Classic, this is 12.5 seconds. Back up. 12.57 seconds faster than the stock variant. So it's the first time in Will It Off-Road, testing what is new to PC, the new HSW vehicles, that we finally have had one that can get up the mountain quicker than its stock counterpart. So, not too shabby. I was kind of impressed when I saw the time. Driving it up when I was just recording, I didn't really think it had beat the time, but no, it did. So we've got one jump from Hobo, another jump from Raven, and then we will head back to the top of the mountain. And of course, this is where we fling them off the top, and Hobo runs into an issue launching. But we fling them off the top purely for scientific purposes to, essentially we're doing the work of like the National Highway Transportation Safety Advisory? I don't know. What does the A stand for in that? Assholes? Something like that. But National Highway Transportation Safety Assholes. It seems right, though, doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of seems right. Anyway, we're the Mount Chiliad version of that. And we have to test the vehicles for safety, you know, for regulation compliance, to make sure you're not going to die, except for when they explode. And then if a car explodes in the mountain and nobody was there to hear the boom, did somebody really die? I don't know. That seems really flawed logic. But anyway, yeah, pure science, and plus we get to do neat things like that, where Hobo just kind of booped me up into the air, because he is wedge at the moment. Then again, so is my car. My car is just wedge in a tree, upside down on a rock. So, yeah, this is fun. No, this isn't fun. This is scientific. There we go. Physics did a thing, and then physics did another thing when I got hit. I'm just getting bounced all around in this damage descent. But that's why we do it. Because it's okay, fine. It's fun. It is. I hate to admit it. I wish I could say it was all for science, but this part's just so we can enjoy hearing the cars go crunch. That's it. Failed woodpile jump as I take yet another drink of water, but we are down 1 minute 53 seconds. Let's take a look at the damage on the Turismo. Thanks, Donkey. All the windows are gone. All the lights are gone by default because the body panels that were holding them, the front and the engine cover, are somewhere up on the mountain. The right door is missing, and it has bent wheels. No, not much of a body remaining to have any damage, so can't really comment on a damage model, but looking at the other two, maybe it has one. I don't know. But that's going to bring us to our next vehicle. The Pfister Astron Custom, and of course you can see the little badge on the bottom left, HSW. Criminal damage took place before this. Should explain that scene that you just saw back there. But we are going to take this up the mountain, and Raven is going to once again, at the start, run into issues. He just can't get a good start today. And I'm going to tell you right now, this thing has terrible brakes. I was looking at the stats to try to figure out the difference between a stock Astron Custom and the original Astron. And there's not a whole lot of difference. One has just a teeny tiny more engine power, but it seemed the Astron had a lot lower braking ability. Seems kind of weird. Like maybe that wasn't intentional, but it does bear witness to those numbers when we come back down the mountain a little bit. But this thing, it's all-wheel drive, and that helps it out quite a bit, I think. It's not, even though it is quick, it's not the fastest accelerating of all the HSW vehicles, and I think that helps it a little bit. And the reason I think that is because there's not quite enough power to overpower the front wheels, so they're actually useful for, you know, steering. And because of that, you can be a little bit more generous with the throttle. It does still, as we just saw, suffer from a little bit of understeer, but it's not as bad as it seems on some of the other vehicles. Of course, we still have a few to go, and we may wind up testing more after that. So far, I'm just going to test the ones that did the best per class in their stock variants, though this one isn't a very fair one-to-one comparison, since the Astron Custom can exist without HSW as its own entity, its own thing, separate from the original Astron, but their stats are so freaking close to each other that I think it's fair to let the Astron Custom do a stand-in for the stock Astron. But we are up in a very quick 2 minutes 30 seconds. So will it off-road? Hell yeah. That's like, again, when we were recording, this did not feel very quick. But then when I went to edit it and I saw that number, I was truly shocked, because one, it's been over a week, and so my memory was, it didn't do very good. So I was doubly shocked, because I was expecting a slow performance, and even while editing it, it looked slow. Wow, we had a homicide on the mountain. Awesome. But let's talk numbers. That 2 minutes 30 seconds is good for 31st out of 473 vehicles. It is 0.27 seconds slower than the Pegassi weaponized Ignis. I feel like I read these numbers a minute ago. Oh no, never mind. I see why. Okay, Ignis. Anyways, yes, HSW version. It is 0.05 seconds faster than the Classy DR1. You can see the brakes failing in here. However, what I mentioned about it not overpowering its front wheels is really going to play out here. If this thing were at just a little bit more power, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I just did just there. In terms of SUVs, we have tested 32, and the Pfister Astron Custom HSW comes in. I'll tell you as soon as I take another drink of water. Refreshing. It's that, or I'm going to go into a coughing fit for like 45 seconds and just be silent. So anyways, this is the new #1 SUV. It is 3.47 seconds faster than the Gallavander Baller STD. So let it be known right here today that a Pfister Astron Custom will let you outrun an STD. For the PC enhanced version, HSW vehicles, whatever, it is second out of 3. That same split to the Ignis from earlier. It is 12.58 seconds faster than the Turismo Classic that we just took a look at. And then compared to the regular non-HSW, non-custom Astron, this is 6.8 seconds faster. So despite almost identical engine power for the base vehicles, this got up the mountain quicker. And I think that's kind of impressive, to be honest, that it turned in that performance at all. So maybe there is some hope for the HSW vehicles. And will it off-road? Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see how the rest do. Hobo got in the great jump, but I'm not even sure how Raven wound up upside down there. But anyways, we're going to go back to the top once again to fling the vehicles off. And it looks like Raven's getting an assist from Sven in his Iron Mule. So I'll allow it. He actually dropped him at a really nice angle there. Like, he was perfectly lined up with where he needed to go on the mountain. So I'd say well done to that helicopter pilot. I think he was trying to catch somebody on the way down, but was a bit uncertain of the size of the Iron Mule. If you haven't seen the Iron Mule, it's a big helicopter. And you really realize it when you go in to pick stuff up, just how big it is. It is just enormously huge. And it can be a challenge to get it into some tight spaces. Yes, there's plenty of low-hanging fruit jokes there, and I'm not going to make any of them. However, I will, in my head, giggle at them, because I'm a child. Thought I was going to get to thread the needle right there, but no. Managed to bounce and hit the top. Here, no, was never going to happen because I was spinning out. So I've got one more shot for a thread the needle for this video. Oh, that was quite the bounce, Hobo. That was impressive. Yeah, I rolled. Not going to be able to get enough speed for it to count as a thread the needle. Plus, I didn't get lined up, and now I'm just getting bullied, and I have to go through backwards. However, watch this. First, Hobo gets up and over, and then I get up and over. And there were shouts of joy, which you can hear in the behind-the-scenes version. Find out below how you can become a channel supporter or watch behind the scenes. But we're down 140. Let's take a look at damage. Most of the windows are gone. All the lights are gone. The hood, the driver's door, the tailgate, the rear bumper, and the right rear door are missing. It has bent wheels, and there is pretty significant body damage. And you know what I was saying about the helicopter? Having trouble fitting into tight spaces. Okay, so that happened. But, yeah, the helicopter definitely shouldn't try to land in tight spaces. I love how the shadow of its carcass goes over. Thank you so much for watching Will It Off-Road. Today we'll be back with 2 more HSW vehicles next week. Don't remember which ones. Find out next week. No, 2 weeks. Sorry, 2 weeks. To find out what they are. But thanks for watching. There's thousands of things you could have checked out on YouTube today, and you chose this, and I greatly appreciate that. Until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.